There's a very famous sutra called the Mahaparinirvana Sutra. Everything is always coming and going, coming and going, coming and going. This teaching in the Mahaparinirvana Sutra. Everything is always coming and going, coming and going, coming and going. That's the law of appearing and disappearing, right? Everything I said to you from the first half of this talk is just this law of appearing and disappearing, appearing and disappearing. But when this appearing and disappearing disappear, yeah, this blue sky mind, when appearing and disappearing disappear, then this stillness is bliss. Just that point. So when we're thinking, we make appearance and disappearance. We make good and bad. We make life and death. Appearance and disappearance only comes from thinking. But if we return to our nature, our already complete nature, I have it, you have it. Buddha has it, God has it. Osama bin Laden has it, and also maybe George Bush has it. Yeah, he has it. We have that perfectly pure, clear nature, but we don't look at that. So we only follow this impermanent world created by thinking. So our practice is really, really, really clear in Buddhism. Buddhist teaching does not promote that you have to believe this speech. You don't have to believe this just because I said it. You can test it. You can test this speech. You can see if this speech is real or not. How do you do that? What am I? Ask yourself, what am I? It's very, very, very simple. So our teaching is not based on any sort of ideology or dogma or creed about appearing and disappearing. Just look at this world. See this world as it is. Then, if this world makes you sick, if this world is not satisfying to you, if that condition is not perfectly satisfying to you, then ask, what am I? What am I? This world is appearing and disappearing. I cannot believe this world. But something there is. What is this? 이무옥고. 경상도 사람도 이목고. 전라도 사람도 I don't know. 이목고에. Something like that. So this question, what am I? So in Buddhism, if you look, anytime you see a statue of the Buddha, it's always sitting in meditation. That is this doorway through the world of impermanence and permanence. The doorway through that world only happens through your effort. What am I? So we are sitting in Jagwangsa Temple, Jagwangsa. Jabi Jaja. Bitguangja. So everybody thinks this compassionate light is some other place, some God, some Buddha has this, maybe some saint, maybe Tanho Snim, Tanho Kun Snim only, maybe Mangong Snim, maybe only the Buddha had this compassionate light, maybe Jesus, maybe some people think Jesus. But that light, we all have that light. That light is never affected by coming and going, coming and going. That light never comes, never goes, no life, no death. So we have to find that. In Buddhism, nobody can give that to you because you already have it. The same as Buddha. So when you follow your thinking, you're just a Jungseng. When you cut off your thinking and return to this blue sky mind, what am I? What am I? At that point, there's no permanent or impermanent. There's no coming or going. There's no up or down, life or death. There's no Buddha. There's no God. There's no male. There's no female. There's no north. There's no south. That's your jabi, your bit nenen jabi. So all of us must find that. So, no impermanent, no permanent. That's only based on thinking. A few days ago, nowadays I sit meditation with students at Sogang University in Shincheon in Seoul. And a few days ago, I asked them, what, of all of the people in this room, there's about 125 students taking this meditation class type session together. And I asked them, how many of you, at least once a week, go to do meditation or go to church, go to Kyohei or Songdang? Of all of you, how many, at least once a week, regularly go to some religious service? Please raise your hand. And only about 25% of the students raised their hands. So this was a very disturbing thought. This surprised me. I heard that Korean students were much more active with religious life. So I asked some of them, why is that so? Why did that change? And this was something very interesting. The student said, nowadays, students only talk about, when they get together, only talk about, how can I get a job? How can I get a job? They said, actually, the economy is much, much, much worse than actually even the newspapers are saying. And many students cannot get a job. So some years ago, when the economy was okay, people thought about religion. But now, only, how can I get a job? What kind of school can I go to in America to get a job? So this student said something to me very interesting. Nowadays, students only look outside themselves for something to get. So this is a very sad situation. But our world is always teaching us. So all of us understand this situation. This outside world cannot give me anything. This outside world, whatever it can give me, I cannot keep. Money, power, fame, reputation, family, house, even my own body that my parents gave me. I cannot keep those things. So why spend so much energy investing in them? Let it go. Instead, ask myself, what am I? So that's our job. Whether we believe in Buddhism or whether we believe in Christianity or whether we believe in something else, never changes. What am I? That is our practice. So all of you have come today to the temple for this Dharma speech. That's very wonderful. That's very wonderful. But we must be careful how we use this teaching. So a very famous monk, Dalma Desa, Bodhidharma, said in his Bloodstream Sutra, the Bloodstream Sutra, main teaching was that we are already Buddha. We are already Buddha. Actually, I think Buddhist people, we give away the teaching too easily. That's why maybe some people don't come to temple so 열심히, as maybe it's some of the other religious places. In other religious places, if they said, you are already Jesus, maybe people wouldn't go so much and give so much money. But in Buddhism, we say, you are already Buddha. Bodhidharma taught, we are already Buddha. Your mind as it is already the Buddha. It's already complete as it is. It's lacking nothing. You lack nothing. You need nothing. So a Buddha doesn't look for Buddha. You're already Buddha. Why look someplace for Buddha? Buddhas never look for Buddhas. Buddha doesn't search for Buddha. And he says, a Buddha doesn't worship the Buddha. So that's very, very, very clear speech. But how do we do that? How do we do that? Only believe that speech? Oh, Buddha is, I am Buddha. Everything is Buddha. Buddha is Buddha. I don't need to come to temple. Maybe Puchinim Oshinal. That's not correct. Yeah, you are already Buddha. I am already Buddha. He is already Buddha. George Bush is already Buddha. Osama bin Laden is already Buddha. 한나라당, 민주당, 열린우리당, 없는 당, 북쪽 당, 남쪽 당, all Buddha. Already Buddha. Which means already complete. Already beyond permanent or impermanent. But we don't know that. So some taste. We have to have some taste of that. That's all. So Buddhist teaching is about actually tasting that myself, not depending on anyone's speech. So this Dharma talk is only pointing you to that. There's nothing in this Dharma talk that you need also. Already you have it. But if you don't look at that, it doesn't make a difference. There's a difference. Explaining Doenjang Jjigae and tasting Doenjang Jjigae. That's the difference. So every day we come to temple, every Sunday we come to temple, maybe once a month we come to temple. We hear you are already Buddha. You are already complete. No birth, no death. No coming, no going in the Heart Sutra. No attainment with nothing to attain. We hear that, but we don't practice. That's not true Buddhism. True Buddhism means I must taste that. So, I understand the sky is blue up there. But Buddhism means you must see that. So if you want to see your clear blue sky, your no coming, no going sky, what am I? Only what am I? That's all. So everybody, from today, I hope you, again, try your practice. Bodhidharma says, do not misdirect your practice. Do not misdirect your practice. Don't practice incorrectly. The Buddha said when he stepped out, we'll hear this on Buddha's birthday in a few weeks, in a month or so. When the Buddha came out of his mother's side, he took a few steps and he pointed to the sky above with one finger. And he pointed to the earth below with the other finger. And he said, in all the heavens above and in all the earth below, all the worlds below, only I am holy. All the heavens, all the gods, all the heavens, only I am holy. But I think Buddha made a mistake when he said that. So I want to change that today. I say, sitting here in front of you, not Buddha, he's not holy. And all the heavens above and all the earth below, only I am holy. Meaning is, only my true nature is complete. Only this true nature is worth something. Only this true nature is fundamentally pure and clear. So when the Buddha said that, that was very shocking speech to many people. In the heavens above and in the earth below, only our true nature is complete. Only our true nature is real. That's this teaching of the Buddha. So how many of us look at that? How many of us actually look at that? We look at TV, we look at movies, we look at books, we look at magazines, we look at the sports pages, our 조선인도, 연애, 생활, 관심 많아요. We know how much money maybe that Harisu is earning, or who is married to, who will get married to Lee Hyori or Kim Hee-sun. We know all about this outside world. Nowadays, everybody is interested in this Koguryo Munje in China. Very angry. Very interested. Tokdo. Political situation. All of our interest goes outside of us. But the Buddha was talking about something totally different from that. All of that stuff is impermanent. Instead, don't get so worried about that. Don't lose your mind in this political situation. Instead, what am I? In all the heavens above, in all the earth below, only this true nature is significant. Only this is clear. So we should have interest in that. That should be our first concern. If you have interest in that, then this whole world is never impermanent. This whole world is never coming, never going. This whole world is not unsatisfactory. So everybody today, when you leave, I hope you realize you have a choice. We always have a choice. Follow my thinking, then this whole world is impermanent. Follow my thinking, this whole world is only life and death. Follow my thinking, this whole world is only coming and going. Follow my thinking, this whole world is only dukkha, unsatisfactory. Follow my thinking, this whole world is only that, even if it's Buddhist thinking, that cannot help you. Follow my thinking, and this world is suffering. That's the first noble truth. But that's one choice. We can live like that. But especially as Buddhists, we have another choice. Not touch this world of thinking. Not fight with this world of thinking. Only return to my true nature. Return to my nature as it is. My true self, as it is in this moment. It's very clear. So in Buddhism, a lot of our Shindo don't really appreciate how incredibly clear this Buddhist teaching is. This Buddhist teaching is amazing. So anytime, I'm only borrowing this. I cannot use this. Anytime in Buddhism, it's very, very clear, and our Shindo do not know how incredibly lucky we are to have this teaching. Anytime a Kunsanim starts a Dharma speech, they have this big stick. And they say, before the Dharma speech starts, lift up the stick and say, do you see this? And then, do you hear this? And often, there's many different styles, but often a Zen master will say, my Dharma speech is finished, and leave. In the old times in China, my Dharma speech is finished, and leave. And people sit there, duh. Buddhism is so mysterious. Buddhism is so difficult. Buddhism has like a secret handshake, a secret signal. I need to study Chinese characters to understand that. I need to read more books. But it's very, 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 very stupid. Very simple. So we always say in Buddhism, you must see your true nature. Then everybody thinks, that's far away. That's very difficult. I must live in Heian-sa. I must go to Tongdo-sa. I must cut off my hair and leave my family. That's not true. So in Buddhism, they always give you, the whole Dharma speech is just, do you see this? The thing that sees this, that's your true nature, functioning. If you had no true nature, you would be the same as a chair. So Buddhism delivers it directly. It's better than newspaper delivery. Buddhism delivers it directly to you. Do you see this? You don't need to answer. Already you see that. Then, right. Do you hear that? That is your nature. The thing that sees that, the thing that hears that, it doesn't need any special education to do that. It doesn't need any special kido to hear that. And especially, it doesn't need any thinking. It doesn't even need Buddhism. So, that is this teaching. It's very clear. So, the Buddha said, in the heavens above and in all the lands below, only the thing that perceives this, only that is holy. A very famous monk, Chung-Song Sanim, Chung-Song Kun-Sanim, a few years ago, was giving a talk at, I think it was at Mangwol-sa Temple, and he sat up on the big lion seat. And that time many people gathered, and he said, "Today I want to talk about your true nature. What is true nature? Does anybody understand it?" Then he lifted the stick up, and he went, "Does anybody understand that?" And just at that moment, underneath the ground, underneath the popdang, a dog went, "Woo!" That time the dogs sometimes went under the popdang because it was some safety under there. They lived down there. So Chongsong Snim did this and said, "Do you understand that?" And a dog, he didn't hear his speech, just hear the sound, "Woo, woo, 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 ow, ow, woo, 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 woo," like this Bosanim over here. Then Chongsong Snim said, "This dog understands true nature better than you." So Buddhism is very clear. Just hear, just see, just smell, just taste, just touch. And this world, just as it is already complete. So that's this teaching of Buddhism. But that's not just my speech. You must experience that. How much do you believe that? That's important. So maybe now during this Dharma speech you believe that, maybe you don't. I don't know. But in your everyday life, from moment to moment to moment to moment to moment to moment to moment, when you see, when you hear, when you smell, when you taste, when you touch, everything, just like this, that sound is the truth. So I have already talked for a very, very long time, and I will have already extended this Dharma speech too far. I want to say to everyone, thank you for coming today. And please, in this 큰 혼란, in this incredibly dark and difficult time, never forget this true nature. So, if you just look at this world with thinking, then this is a dark time. If you just look at this world with thinking, then you worry, you get angry, you get frustrated. Maybe if you were in a 정치 단체, you fight. But that's all just this suffering sabasege. There's something behind that, before all that thinking arises. So I hope everybody, starting today, again, more than yesterday, resolves, I must find that. What am I? So again, a few minutes ago, I asked you, I left you with a koan. I want to leave that with you today. The Mahaparinirvana Sutra says everything is always coming and going, changing, 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 changing. That's the law of appearing and disappearing. But when appearing and disappearing disappear, this stillness is bliss. So the Buddha said this stillness is bliss. So I want to ask you, the Buddha's speech and this sound and your mind, which one is stillness? Thank you for paying attention to my Dharma speech.